5 most worn fragrances from the brand Lattafa. As of late, as of the last month or something like that. Lattafa is such an amazing brand. They produce some super high quality fragrances for a really low price. They're generally long lasting and they have beautiful presentations. And I can see why people are loving them. They're so accessible. I purchased the bulk of my Lattafa fragrances from Amazon. They're very easy to find. Even if you go to a local mall, there's usually a kiosk that is selling a lot of these Middle Eastern brands, and Lattafa happens to be among them. Nevertheless, I'm going to tell you what my 5 most worn Lattafa fragrances have been as of late, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's episode and I tell you about my top 5 most worn Lattafa fragrances as of late, as of like the last 3 to 4 weeks, I'm going to tell you why I've been wearing them so often, the purpose of me wearing them so much, whether I'm preparing for a review or I just genuinely love them. I want to start the video off first by saying that if you're a fan of fragrance related content and if you love smelling your best, hit subscribe, hit the bell, and give this video a thumbs up for the algorithm. It would really mean a lot to me. So let's go ahead and start things off with the first one, which is, by the way, a beautiful fragrance. I've been producing a lot of content around this fragrance. People are always looking for a more inexpensive alternative to this very popular designer fragrance, which is Burberry Goddess. It's a vanilla-based fragrance, a bit of a floral personality, a bit salty as well because it contains vanilla caviar. But by Lattafa, this one is called Angham. Such a stunning fragrance with a beautiful presentation, and I know you can't notice it because you're not holding the bottle unless you own it. You see, I shouldn't be doing that. I almost dropped it. This is their version of Burberry Goddess and it's called Angham. So this is a beautiful, long-lasting fragrance from the brand, and I have so many that I would recommend for the ladies. There's Yara Candy, which I love. Yara Toast, Yara Moi. There's also their version of, well, I say it's their version of La Vie est Belle by Lancôme, which is called The Kingdom, although a lot of people disagree and they say it doesn't smell similar to The Kingdom for them, but for me, I get the similarities. This is a beautiful fragrance, and every time I review this one, I know it's marketed for the ladies, but every time I review this one, I always smell it and I'm like, oh, this is so good, right? And I always end up spraying like 1 or 2 sprays on my hand just because I love the way that it smells, and it puts me in a chokehold. I had to use that term one more time. It's a beautiful fragrance. Please try it if you can. And it's so affordable for the presentation, the lasting power, and all of that stuff alone. It is remarkable. Now, the next one, I would say it's unisex. There's orchid flower, there's jasmine, there's passion flower, there's vanilla, there's a bit of a green earthiness in the dry down. It's the brand new Airi. Whenever there's a brand new Lattafa fragrance, and my gripe with this one, I hope this is not, my bottle is leaking quite a bit, and every time I take the cap off, I don't know if it's a manufacturing defect or whatever, but maybe it's something that happened in transit. But yeah, it is completely suffused and saturated with fragrance oil. Anyway, it smells wonderful. It's a great fragrance. I have it all over my fingertips now. So it opens up with this beautiful floral personality, a gentle dose of vanilla. So it's not overly pronounced, but it's a beautiful sort of romantic, slightly exotic leaning fragrance. And I love that it has passion flower, not passion fruit. I know they're very different, obviously, but whenever I think of passion fruit or melon or cantaloupe or whatever, I think of Erba Pura by Xerjoff, and I'm like, oh my goodness, do we need another Erba Pura fragrance on the market? Like recently I tried Simone Andreoli's Don't Ask Permission, and it's an Erba Pura twist, if I can call it that. And so and also I know Lattafa put out a Fief, which has a really beautiful ornate presentation. It's so extra. And it's kind of a hybrid between Erba Pura and Valaya by Parfum de Marly. So I'm like, goodness, please don't make any more Erba Pura inspired fragrances. I think Chris Maurice produced a masterpiece with Erba Pura, and I would like to stick to the original, please. All right, this next one, especially when the weather is like really cold, I've been wearing this one like it's nobody's business. So this one is called Mashrabia. Beautiful presentation, by the way. It has this rubbery texture on the bottle. The rest is glass or ceramic. The cap itself is not too heavy, but there's a nice composition to it, clicks into place. I just love the attention to detail on all of these Lattafa presentations. So this is a spicy, smoky, ambery fragrance, and that's because this one is inspired by Kilian Paris Smoking Hot. I do not own a bottle of the original just because it's not a DNA that I find myself wearing too often, just because I like some of the more versatile, mass appealing DNAs, and I feel like this one is a bit more envelope pushing, a bit more gregarious, a bit more of a statement maker, which is amazing. Like if that's your thing, then, you know, I couldn't recommend it enough. But yeah, Mashrabia is a fantastic alternative to the original, and I love Kilian Paris. I have purchased at least 24 bottles from the brand, but this one at the end of the day is a solid alternative with a beautiful presentation, incredible lasting power, and it comes very close to the original. So the next one, and this is brand new, so the same reason why I've been wearing Airi a lot is the reason why I've been wearing this one a lot, and you already know, the brand new Khamrah Qahwa. So this is basically a spicy version of Khamrah Qahwa, which is basically Khamrah, but you add coffee. And I also get like this amplified praline thing happening in there as well. So there's a nice bit of sweetness, and this is a very smooth, spicy take on the original. Again, it's a bit peppery, but it's not a make you sneeze type of pepper, if that makes sense. It's wonderful. My only criticism with it, and I mentioned this in my full review as well, is if you own the original Khamrah and you own Khamrah Qahwa, you really don't need this one. So I would just wait until you run out of those fragrances. But if you're a fan of the DNA and you know that Lattafa fragrances are fairly affordable and you have the disposable income by that virtue, definitely pick this one up. Especially if you're a collector and you want to see all three of them side by side. I think it's solid. But let's talk about the fragrance in the #1 spot. So this is such a beauty, such a delight, and such a treat. I am a huge fan of the original, and I've mentioned this on camera before. The original, in my opinion, is a masterpiece. It is a modern masterpiece. I will take that to the proverbial grave. I personally love the original. There's iris, there's fig, there's tea, there's a hint of vanilla. It is such an intoxicating fragrance. It smells divine on a woman. So if you're a woman wearing this one, you're the best smelling person in the room, hands down. It doesn't matter what anybody else is wearing. If you're wearing the original or the extra version of the original, forget about it. It is one of the most intriguing, one of the most beguiling, one of the most alluring fragrances that I've ever tried in my life. And hands down, it is it's beguiling without being provocative. And I think that's the best way to put it. The brand has a lot of other fragrances that I would dub as provocative, like Rouge Smoking or Rouge Smoking Extra. Well, the fragrance that I'm talking about is Gris Charnel. It is BDK's, and I'm gonna go on the record in saying this, it is BDK's best fragrance ever. And I own them all. I own their Tuberose offering. I own Pas Ce Soir Extra. I have literally everything that the brand has put out, probably except for Via Neroli. I'm gonna get that one too eventually, but this one is phenomenal. If you have a chance to own Lattafa's take on Gris Charnel, it is one of the most amazing perfumes you'll ever own. And at one point I saw this online for like 29 bucks. You can't go wrong. And the presentation is really elaborate. Let me just, if you wouldn't mind. So this is what the box looks like. Really big box for no reason at all, because this is the bottle, right? So you open it up. I think I got mine from Amazon. Yeah. And it sits inside the box very nicely. It would make for a great gift. I also really love Her Confession, which is their take on, Liquide Imaginaire's Blanche Bête, but this one is called Liam Gray. Blanche Bête is a bit more feminine, so this one is a bit more unisex, right? Like right down the middle. Liam Gray is such an amazing fragrance. So I actually have 2 bottles of this one. I think this is my backup. You can see it's almost full. This is my backup bottle of it. But nevertheless, these are my 5 most worn Lattafa fragrances of the past 3 to 4 weeks, I wanna say. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you took something of value from today's episode. And of course, if you did, please do consider supporting the channel by clicking subscribe, hitting the bell, and giving this video a thumbs up. It would really mean the world to me. Thanks again for watching. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. We'll see you tomorrow with a new episode.